In today's video, we're actually going to talk about a losing trade and then the next setup, okay? Because we have to define risk with all these setups. And the last setup that I had for you in WFC was violated. I actually had some really good symmetry here that overlapped some of the price relationships. We did get a bounce off of that area, and if it would have followed through, we were going to look for the 1272 target. But guess what? Not all of these setups are going to play out. And we would have been stopped out because it took out the low that was made prior to your buy signal, and it also took out the cluster. So what do you do in that case? Well, you're supposed to GTFO. But can there be another setup? There can, but what you need to do is look at each setup individually. You don't want to say, well, you know, maybe the second zone will hold, and then it blows through that, and you're like, well, maybe the next zone will hold. In other words, you want to stay disciplined, okay? That's why I carry a whip. Anyway, so as far as this next decision, again, you have to look at it as a totally new trade. But what's interesting with this is that I found the confluence of some timing cycles due, okay, so here's one cycle on the 27th, today's the 28th, so that means that's within the time window for a possible low. We have two cycles that come due, let's see, on the 31st, on Monday, and then one that comes in on August 1st, okay, so Monday, Tuesday. So as we're testing the next support decision at 52.65 to 53.20, we have timing cycles that are coordinating with it. So does that mean you're supposed to be long WFC again? Not yet, because we don't see a trigger. So this is what I want to stalk early next week. Okay, I was stopped out of this setup. But as far as the next decision, 52.65 to 53.20 is important, and 51.83 to 52.06 is important. So if we start to see new buy triggers against that, then I'm willing to look at it again, because we do have time and price coming together, and that's your next defined setup in WFC. Now, so far, if you're looking at a 15-minute chart, you'll see that there's no buy trigger, because besides seeing the market take out a prior swing high, which, you know, looks like you have just slightly, you have to have the moving average crossover. Without the crossover, I don't have a signal yet that tells me that it's worth placing a bet against that zone. So please be patient, and yeah, we'll see what it does against this next decision. And remember something else, NTNT means no trigger, no trade. If we don't see a trigger against this new zone, don't take a trade against it.